Did you think live streaming was going to be easy? I did, and I streamed over 1,000 hours. I am both proud and deeply unwell, and eventually I made it out of 2-viewer hell. I was able to get that partner badge and what's that? Oh, applause. Well, thank you, thank you. Stop that. And let me tell you, it took me much longer than some of my streamer friends, but hey, I'm not bitter. I'm not jealous. No, not at all. Because all of the work, all of the trials and errors, all of the keep clapping, blood, sweat, and tequila-flavored tears made me stronger. But you know, I really wish I could have done things smarter to speed up results. So to help make growing your live stream journey 10 times easier, I'm gonna share some brutal truths about live streaming I wish I'd known a lot sooner. You see, I only started for fun and accountability as I learned how to DJ. And everyone else, all of the gurus will tell you, don't do it for the money, do it for the love of the art of whatever you are streaming, and do it for the community and for the joy and blah, blah, blah. Sure, we all start that way. Look at me, so young and still hinged, but at some point, you're gonna wanna make some money. And so the deeper I got into the culture of live streaming, the more I had to learn. The tech, the lighting, the camera, the overlays, the engagement, the retention, and how did it become so much work? And this is the first lesson that you probably know, but it's buried under your childhood trauma. See, lesson 1 is that it's harder than you can even imagine. So, is it worth it? The short answer, no. The long answer, yes. With therapy, a fiber-rich diet, and extremely low expectations. Because there's a misconception that streaming is easy. And you know, I'm not gonna say it's like rocket surgery or brain science, but you know, it is work if you wanna be successful and able to afford more than a cup of noodles. Because here's what we see versus what viewers see. Some woman DJing banger after banger, and how does she do it? But what we see, planning the stream, scheduling the stream, creating the content, setting up the studio, getting OBS working, fixing the channel points, updating the commands, making sure there is beer in the fridge, get the costumes ready, brush the wigs, notify followers on all social media platforms, make a Twitch story that nobody is going to watch, ping the Discord, then stream for hours to less than 3 people, and then do it all over again every time. And see, you have to get good at streaming, not just doing the thing live that you want to do. For example, let's say you want to play Pong on Twitch or YouTube. That is clamtastic, but just know that your goal is not just to play the game. You have to make me, a rando from the internet, care about Pong, and this is where so many people go wrong. See, because so much of streaming is not about doing the thing, it's about doing the thing and making the thing interesting and entertaining. And if you don't want to learn this skill, just stop now. Because you have to learn how to make random strangers give up their precious time to watch you do something you love. Oh, and also you have to learn how to get them to pay you for that. So streaming is its own weird little art form. And if you practice it, you'll get better. Your confidence will grow, your tech skills will level up, your tolerance for cringe will increase. And those skills, they do compound. But if you think live streaming is going to be your golden ticket to quitting your job and retiring on your own private island, baby, no. Unless it is, but probably not. But maybe, but still no. Because your expectation might be, I'm going to live in a mansion, but your reality is Cheeto fingers and 7 cents in your Twitch payout. And you know, there are also different types of live streams with different chances of success. There's the gamers, there's the musicians, the DJs, the hot tub philosophers, the IRL people, and my favorites, the YouTube live streamers who make long-form video and understand the hack that if you start live streaming on your channel, you're gonna grow exponentially and build a community. I don't have a joke for this one. Each of these species has different survival odds. Choose wisely, but just know that they are all extremely difficult if you want to not suck at the art of streaming. Okay, let's talk about success, a word we all pretend not to care about while secretly refreshing our follower count like a slot machine. For me, success had to be redefined. It was showing up over and over and over when no one was watching. It was knowing that I was getting better every time and making a conscious effort to see the progress I was making in different areas rather than just views and subs. And here's what it actually takes: consistency, even when Mercury is in retrograde. Caring about your viewers, but not like clingy caring. Being curious and willing to learn and try new things. And spending hours in other people's streams saying, "Hey fam," so they remember you exist. And you're gonna need to do this week after week after week for a very long time. And you have to remember the most important part: nobody cares. So you have to care. You have to love what you are doing so much that you can endure doing it repeatedly and only streaming to Pickle Poppy 69. So lesson 2 is to think in long-term timescales, because thinking in days or months or weeks will kill your dream. Also, if you're streaming the most popular game and category, just know that you're fighting a battle that's already won. You're competing with 800 billion million other people, 4 of whom are named GamerDad007. And Twitch's algorithm is like high school clicks.
Shut up! I didn't say anything.
If you're in, you're in. And if you're not, well, you'll be eating lunch alone at the one viewer table until further notice. Twitch is a kingmaker algorithm. The streams with the most people are at the top, and the rest of us are here at the bottom. And think about it. Viewers rarely venture out and see what other streams there are. There are literally thousands upon thousands of choices for streamers to watch. This is like ordering at your favorite diner. You know, the sketchy one on the corner with a C rating from the health department and 17 pages of menu items. You don't go in and decide, "Oh, I'm gonna try something new today." You pick the same damn thing because we all have decision fatigue, and you can't be bothered to make yet another choice. So we eat the same damn 2 eggs over easy with bacon, sourdough hash browns, and a side of, what the fuck is that called? Not Chipotle. What's that thing that gives me diarrhea? Chorizo. And a side of chorizo, knowing we will likely get diarrhea and skyrocket our cholesterol. That was probably too far. And if all of this still hasn't scared you off, well, good, because let's talk about the stuff no one posts on Instagram. Streaming is work. It's emotional labor, digital performance, and spiritual combat against your own worst insecurities. You will question your worth, fight OBS like it owes you money, cry when your mic was muted the whole time, and wonder if Pickle Poppy 69 is your soulmate or just a guy with too much time on his hands. Imposter syndrome? Constant. Tech fails? Daily. Feelings of inadequacy? Honey, buckle up. But weirdly, this chaos helps you grow. Like, you become more confident. You heal. You realize you're funnier than you thought. Until you get trolled by someone in your chat. But if I'm being honest, despite how challenging it's been, live streaming helped me heal my inner child. You know, the one who danced in her room and just wanted someone to clap. Aww. Now strangers do, in the chat, with emotes. It's wholesome and a little weird, but mostly wholesome. So lesson 3 is that you have to be open to personal development to live stream. It's gonna wreck you and then build you back up, much like what I imagine happens in the military or those women in prison movies I do like. Just go into it knowing that you are gonna start to believe that OBS is alive and plotting against you. You're gonna wonder if you're boring. You will say, "Is this thing on?" at least once per stream. But weirdly, you'll also grow. And just know you're gonna be exposed and vulnerable to anyone who comes to your stream. They are gonna see you at potentially your most awkward. And if you can't handle that, don't do it. But also, yes, you can handle it. And the journey will be so special and worth it that your day ones with their founders badges are gonna be your family. And they will love you, even though you ugly cried on stream that one time. Okay, deep breath. Can you quit your job and become a full-time streamer? Yes, but also don't. For me, live streaming became just one of many income streams. Yes, it helped to pay some bills, but only after years of not making any money. And over time, it has led to other gigs and ways to earn. It also gave me creative freedom when I was so desperately seeking and needing to find myself again. So, can I quit my job? Do you have 6 months of savings? Are you mentally stable? Do you like soup? This isn't a path to a private island. Not for most of us. This is a path to maybe kombucha again. It's a bridge, not a launch pad. And you're gonna be building it while you're walking on it, holding onto a stream deck and crying a little. So lesson 4 is this: make streaming just one of your income streams. Because this is not a get-rich-quick scheme. This is a creative career path that requires you to believe in yourself while being ignored by the internet for possibly years. If I could go back in time and give past me a pep talk, it would go something like this. Girl, get consistent. Stop streaming on a random Tuesday at 4:47 p.m. and expecting Oprah to notice. I flailed for years. I was chaotic. I changed overlays more often than I changed my socks, thinking that was the problem. I streamed to 3 people, 2 of whom were me on different devices. But slow growth made me resilient, and it made me real. It also made me partner, not because I hacked the algorithm, but because I stuck around longer than my own self-doubt. And so lesson 5 is just show up consistently. And don't count on Dan Clancy, even if he is your boyfriend. If I could do it all over again, I would multi-stream to YouTube from day one and create content there. I'd flirt with Dan Clancy a little bit harder. Hi Dan, call me. And I would absolutely become a hot tub streamer because apparently that is where the algorithm lives. Also, Dan likes them. You know, I wouldn't have spent $300 on a mic when my internet ran on potato fumes, but hey, we live, we learn, we mute ourselves anyway. Now, if you're like me and you're part of the over 40 club and you think you're too late to live stream, let me be the first to say, no, you're not. You're just early for the rest of your life. Did that sound inspirational? I'm gonna keep that. Look, you're not too old. You're not too awkward. You just haven't started yet. And everyone, no matter what age you are, has to start from somewhere. We all have to be scared and awkward and get triggered and have that memory of that one time in 7th grade English class when we gave a presentation and our fly was down and the teacher put us on blast and said, "The barn door is open," in front of everyone who was giggling and sorry. I know it's terrifying. And you might think, what if nobody watches? What if I'm cringe? What if my ex finds it? Well, I'll tell you, you will be cringe. Nobody will watch. And your ex might see it, and none of that matters. Because that brings us to lesson number 6. Everybody sucks at first, and no one cares. What matters is this. You plan one stream. You tell people about it. You give yourself permission to suck, and then you go live anyway. Because every great streamer started as a sweaty, awkward mess. Let's break this down because I've seen things. And some of y'all need to hear the truth before you go live with your ring lights reflecting directly off your forehead. Kind of like mine is right now. So who should stream? Theater kids with tech trauma. You crave the attention, but you also know how to reset a router. You are built for this. People who talk to themselves anyway. Might as well monetize it. Recovering perfectionists. Streaming will destroy your ego and teach you how to fail publicly with grace. Unlicensed therapists. If you've ever accidentally helped someone process a breakup through your Stardew Valley stream, you belong here. Late bloomers, midlife creatives, and anyone with a YouTube channel who wants to grow. You are not too old. You're not too late. You're just in your villain origin story era. Now, who shouldn't stream? People who need immediate validation. If your self-worth is measured by viewer counts, please step away from the stream button. Go hug a tree. Anyone who hates talking to strangers, because that is literally 80% of the job. The other 20% is arguing with OBS. People who say, I'm just gonna stream and see what happens. No plan, no content, no shot. You'll see what happens. It's nothing. Chaos goblins who refuse to Google anything. Streaming is 5% vibes and 95% fixing something that mysteriously stopped working for no reason. And if your idea of troubleshooting is crying and hoping it resolves itself, baby, no. Anyone still yelling about the algorithm? It's not a person. It's a force of nature. Learn to surf or drown quietly. And if you made it through this chart and you still want to stream, congratulations. You are mentally prepared. Just know, you'll cry, you'll grow, and you'll probably accidentally start a cult in your chat. Welcome home. Look, I'm not the most popular streamer. I didn't get rich, but I did get better. Got better at talking to people, at owning my creativity, and at healing something inside of me I didn't even know was broken. Now I'm over here applying everything that live streaming taught me to YouTube, which is like live streaming, but with more time to overthink and less serotonin. So if you're sitting on the edge of trying to live stream, do it. Even if you're unsure, even if you think no one will care. Because you know what I've learned after 1,134 hours? Someone always cares. Even if it's just one person, even if it's just you. So if you've been thinking about starting, consider this your sign. The internet is weird and broken and beautiful. Come be weird with us. And this video is a way more sappy and wholesome take on live streaming, and you should go watch it. And you should also subscribe, or don't. But do, because if you made it this far, I think you like me.